timing everybody, but please stay as close to 3 minutes as possible because we have a stack of people here, okay? Barbara Welder.
Thank you for your time, Your Honor, and Commissioners. Let's see, I went to high school with about half of you in this room, and I think I know most of you. I'm Barbara May Welder, and I lived in this county a lot of my life. And I'm very much for the restoration of the courthouse. Now, what do I bring? I don't bring sentimentality. I don't. I just bring, I hope, common sense and experience. I've been working with the Texas Historical Commission since the inception of this award-winning grant, courthouse restoration grant. It started in 1999. That goes back a long way, and I worked 4 rounds in B County, and we finally did get the grant, as all of you know. But I want to stop right here and go back and tell you that this grant is not just some old grant that came from the state and just some. It is a coveted, award-winning grant and has received award of distinguished award from the President of the United States. Every county in Texas, Ms. Fleming is here to testify to this, is after this grant. The competition is fierce. The first time I went to the award was in San Antonio. I'll never forget. A commissioner from B County and I went, and we expected to win. While we were B County, why not? We get up there, and it's Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, all of these big towns. They have all of their senators and all of their representatives and about 50 people, and we didn't win. We didn't win the second time. We tried. We got a planning emergency grant, just like Karnes County, and we worked for 6 years to get this grant. It was ferocious, the competition. Now, with that in mind, Karnes County should never, ever consider turning this down. You are at the peak of going forward with this. If you drop it now, there are other counties coming up right behind us. I was told the other day, Nueces County also has an emergency grant. Do you understand that there are 50, 75 counties behind us waiting for this money? I would hate to drive through Karnes City ever in my life and look down in shame and think, my gosh, look what they did. So I'm turning to you. I know this is a hard decision. It's a terrible decision. And for all practical purposes, I would not want to be in your shoes. You have done a good job. But what I advise you to do, I don't know everything, trust me, is to take time and plan this thing. We had planning meetings in B County, and I had to go to them. Gosh, hundreds of planning meetings. But we had to resolve these issues. We had to resolve an annex. Actually, we were in worse shape than Karnes County. Gosh, I don't even want to go there. We had to plan every little step. But the good news is we had the Texas Historical Commission. We had Sharon Fleming. We had Stan Graves, the man who sat here the other night, and fortunately, I'm afraid he wasn't introduced, but he is the head of the architecture department, Texas Historical Commission. We had another architect. I think Louis Fisher is one of the finest architects in the state, by the way. He's the architect for the Diocese of San Antonio and Dallas. So if he's good enough for the Archbishop, could he be good enough for Karnes County? The last thing I have to say, please don't drag this out. As I said, there are other counties behind us. Honor your contracts. You're not in one, but in 2. Do you expect us to read about this in the San Antonio and Corpus and Austin paper, that Karnes County rejected state money, when there are people here that will have to pay for this? Absolutely. And that's a fact. So stop blaming past administration. I know they're not perfect. My dad's picture's up here on the wall, and he wasn't perfect either. But We can't go back and blame other administrations. There were 3 judges involved in this. Judge Vervelick, whom you know very well and honor, certainly Judge Thornhoff and Judge Kendall. All of them had good and possibly bad points, but they all went forward the best way they knew how. We have to move forward and stop moving backward. Honor this building.
Folks, we're going to go ahead and move back in 3 minutes. I'm going to time everybody because I got county court tomorrow morning at 9. I'll make sure I can get up there. Yeah, Donna Miller.
Not at this time, thank you.
You're not, no?
No, thank you.
You want to wait till a number or you're just, okay. I'm sorry, I didn't want to,
That's okay.
you're okay. Sandra Yanta.
I'm going to just stand right here because I think everybody can hear me. But
It's for
I
the tape,
work
Ms. Yanta, it's on
Huh?
record. It's for the tape, we're on record.
anyway,
Sorry,
I
I can hear you, but I don't know.
Yeah. I've worked at this courthouse, well, 5 years, a long time ago, but now I've been teaching school here, and I would like to tell y'all thank you for having these meetings at a time that we can come, people that work. And I just wanted to let you know that this has a lot of history in this courthouse, and I think y'all would be foolish to let it, like Barbara said, to let it run down. So I think I'm asking you not to do the phase 1, to not cancel it. Okay?
Maggie Hunt?
Thank you, Judge and Commissioners. I'm standing here to plead respectfully for Commissioners Court not to postpone past completion of the Karnes County offices on the square and not to cancel M.J. Boyle's contract. To cancel or to postpone at length is going to cost the taxpayers probably about $200,000 to get out of that contract. And in postponing that contract indefinitely, rather than when that building is through, for us to move our officers over there to start on phase 1, is what I'm asking you not to leave it at postponed indefinitely. Make it true to the contract that we've got set up. Make it happen as soon as that building's ready. Don't postpone indefinite. It will cost us over $200,000 to get out of that contract. That's our money here, isn't it? The courthouse has taken over, the courthouse project has taken over 12 years, and almost $1 million has been spent already toward that. It's gotten us to today, and today is your vote. Please consider it. Listen to the people and make your decisions honorably. Honor our contracts. Thank you.
Judge Alaska?
Judge, Commissioners, thank you, like everybody else, for having us at night where we can come up here. I've lived most of my life in Karnes County. I own property in Karnes County.
Can you come closer so you can each other? I'm sorry.
That's okay. I own property in Karnes County, and I am for the restoration of the courthouse. As we can see going down 181 right now, I mean, we are booming. It's a blessing, as Sherry said the other day. I'm seeing dilapidated, empty buildings being bought, refurbished, people coming in, there's jobs, the shot in the arm that Karnes County needed. We need to look forward and not backward. The annex is some kind of, I mean, it may look like some kind of chicken coop, but anyway, it's here and we've got it. There's nothing else we can do about it, and going on about it. He did, she did, whatever, doesn't matter anymore. It's here, it's almost half built or whatever it is. So we have no choice but to finish it. Even though it ends up costing us more, that's just one of those things, you bite the bullet and you go on. With the courthouse, if we don't get those wings off, it's going to tear this building down. Now, I know Mr. Fisher the other night said that, I know there's a problem with the contracts and them wanting to start and the annex not being ready. But I'm sure there's a compromise there that they can postpone tearing off those wings to allow time for the annex to be completed so there'll be offices for the court. And then we can get those wings off. Let's go ahead with phase 1. We can't get to phase 2 if we don't do phase 1 first. And as far as fiscal responsibility, we have that money already. Why the hell, sorry, would you want to give money back to the state? Or I mean, say a worst case scenario, we may never get into phase 2, but we don't know if we don't try. And as Dr. Joyce talked about her dream the other day, my daddy always said, can't never did anything. So we can. We just have to go forward one step at a time. Please do not cancel the contract.
Edwin Beatrick?
I was against it.
I can't hear you, sir.
No, I was against it.
Okay. Sandra Carter.
I have been a taxpayer and business owner in Karnes County for over 40 years. And I have seen many, many things happen here. I've seen dissension in trying to put a swimming pool in towns. I've seen it in trying to build schools. I've seen it with the hospital. I've seen it with our county libraries. The library was a fiasco. It was unreal. And now we have all these that we're proud of.